Hello students. Now in today's session we are going to start with the chapter 5 polarization of satellite communication and networking. So let's start the unit 5, that is the polarization. Right, till now we have completed about unit 4, right, that is radio wave propagation, and we have studied that how waves travel in the free space and what are the spatial losses which can occur during this radio wave propagation. Now in this session we are going to discuss about the polarization, right, and what are the different polarization of the satellite signals and what are the different antenna depolarization techniques for the satellite communication. So let's start with the chapter that is the polarization. Now topics to be covered in this session, that is the introduction, plane transverse electromagnetic wave, and third, that is the antenna polarization, right? So in this antenna polarization introduction we are going to discuss about the basic definitions related to this polarization term. So basically, first of all, what is the polarization? So it is a property that describes the orientation of a signal with respect to time varying direction and amplitude of an electromagnetic wave with respect to electric field vector. That means the polarization is defined as nothing but it is a property where where this wave changes due to where changes as per the electric field vector changes. So as you can see that it is a property where it is defines the orientation of signals, right, where the signal is oriented and in which space it is and how the amplitude is changed. Now second term, that is the amplitude. So basically what is amplitude is, so it is the maximum point of vibration or oscillation measured from the position of equilibrium. So when we talk about the analog signal, right, so the analog signal, the maximum peak of that analog signal, that is called as the amplitude of signal. Clear? And third, that is the electromagnetic wave. So the wave of the electric field and the wave of the magnetic field are propagated perpendicularly to the direction of propagation and to each other. That means the in electromagnetic wave there are two types of field, that is the electric field and the magnetic field. So with respect to electric field and magnetic field, as the wave changes, due to this the electromagnetic wave radiation will also change, and as the radiation will change, the polarization of the signal will also change. Clear? Now at extremely low frequency, the electric field and the magnetic field are specified separately. At higher frequencies and magnetic field are not separable and are named as electromagnetic waves. So what does the electromagnetic stands for? So basically the electromagnetic wave are the nothing but it is a generation of electric field as well as magnetic field, and at higher frequencies they both are combined to form a electromagnetic wave. Clear? Now next, that is the vector. So basically what does the vector means? So a quantity which has direction as well as magnitude, that is called as a vector quantity. So vector quantity means that it will have a direction, that means in which direction it is traveling, as well as how much magnitude it will take. So that is called as a vector quantity. For example, area is a vector quantity, displacement is a vector quantity, right? So these are the examples of vector quantity. Now next, that is right hand thumb rule. So what does the right hand thumb rule says? That it shows the direction of current on which it is flowing. So for a current carrying wire, the rule says that if the finger of the right hand, right, placed along this, like some like this, right, along around the wire, and the thumb points in the direction of the current flow, so this thumb will point at the direction of current which is flowing, right, and this is the direction of wire, right. Now and the magnetic field produced, this is the second finger that is called as the magnetic field produced around the wire, and also known as hand rule. For a moving wire in a magnetic field, such as a wire on an armature of a generator, if the thumb, first and second finger of a right hand are extended at right angles to one another, with the first finger representing the direction of current flow induced by the wire motion, the thumb will be pointed in the direction of wire, right. So due to this, the right hand thumb rule shows that the direction of current while the current or magnetic field is produced in the wire, right. So with the help of this right hand thumb rule, we can generate the current in which the direction of current. Now First, next there is the dipole. So what does the dipole means? That antenna, right, in which it is direction or the radiation pattern in both directions, that is called as dipole. So a pair of equal and oppositely charged or magnetized poles separated by a distance, that is called as dipole. And last, that is the torque. So what does the torque mean? So it is a tendency of force to rotate an object about its axis or fulcrum or pivot. That means that wherever there is a screw or wherever there is a 2 point, right, and at that particular time the force we are keeping to object to rotate an object, that is called as torque. And torque is formed by, it is a cross product between the distance vector and the force vector. Now next, that is plane transverse electromagnetic wave. So basically, what is plane transverse electromagnetic wave? Okay, so next, that is the plane transverse electromagnetic wave. Now what is plane transverse electromagnetic wave? So as the name suggests, that as you can see in the figure, vector diagram of TEM wave, that is transverse electromagnetic wave. So as you can see, the E field is in the Y direction, right? H field is in X direction. So the direction of propagation of vector, that is in the form of perpendicular to both E and H, that is nothing but your Z direction, right? So the signal sent to a satellite is generally in the form of transverse electromagnetic wave, that is the TEM wave. In TEM wave, electric field wave is perpendicular to the direction of propagation, right? So as you can see in the figure, electric field is on the Z axis, H is on the Y axis, X axis. So the direction of perpendicular to that particular wave, that is TEM wave, that is in a perpendicular to both E and H vector, that is denoted with the K vector, which is in the Y direction. Clear? In the figure, magnetic field H and electric field E are transverse to the direction of propagation, and that is vector E. So this is shown in this figure. Now how does this help in electromagnetic? So E, H and K, all the three are the vector quantities. So the path defined by rotation from E to H in the direction of rotation of right hand thread screw, they form her right hand rule. So considering TEM wave as a plane, the vectors E and H lie in the plane which is at the right angles to the vector K. So both E, H and K, all the three will be at the right angles. Hence K is normal to the plane. The direction of the line traced out by the tip of electric field vector determines the polarization of wave. And the electric field and magnetic field are varying function of time. Magnetic field varies exactly in the phase with the electric field, and its amplitude is proportional to the electric field's amplitude. Thus, only electric field is considered. Now, team of the vector E trace out a single straight line, also referred to as linear polarization. So if there is only E present on the vertical axis or horizontal axis, then it is called as linear polarization. If both axes are present, horizontal as well as vertical component, then elliptical polarization is performed. And if E, H and EV, that is the component of electric field and magnetic field, electric field of horizontal as well as vertical is equal, then it forms a circular polarization. When E is perpendicular to the earth surface, it is called as vertical polarization. So earth surface is like this, and here it is a E traces out like this, so it is called as vertical polarization. And if the earth surface is this and it is perpendicular to this, right, that is parallel to the earth surface, it is called as a horizontal polarization. So when it is perpendicular to the earth surface, that is called as horizontal polarization. Now let horizontal moment of X and vertical be Y axis of right hand side. So polarization, vertical polarization कैसे define करता है? That is with the EY is equal to A raised to Y, which is the direction vector in the Y axis, EY that is the magnitude, and sine omega t, that is the wave formed in the sinusoidal wave, where AY is a unit vector in the directional, EY is a peak value of the electric field. Similarly, horizontal, that is on the X axis, it is represented as EX vector is equal to EX cap, EX into sine omega t. And if both the fields are present together, then we will need to find the angle between this horizontal and vertical component, that is given by arc tan, that is nothing but tan inverse EY by EX, that is Y axis divided by X axis. right? And if EY and EX are both orthogonal, then alpha is equal to or direct, that is omega t. Clear? So this is the theory for the plane transverse wave electromagnetics. Now, as you can see in the figure which we have discussed, right? So in the first, that is figure A, it is shown that x-axis, y-axis. So with respect to x-axis, the AX is the unit vector, and with respect to y-axis, AY is the unit vector, right? So now in the figure B, you can see the vertical axis have plus EY and minus EY component, and horizontal axis is minus EX and plus EX component, right? And if both are present, then we need to find in the third figure, that is alpha, which is equal to tan inverse EY by EX, and we need to find magnitude of electric field, that is under root EY square plus EX square, right? So this is all about the plane transverse electromagnetic wave. Now again, I have discussed that in if EH and EV, right, they both are equal and it will form a circular polarization. Clear? So again, two types of circular polarization are performed, that is right hand circularization RHC and left hand circularization, which is LHC. So when tip of the resultant vector traces out to be a circle, right, the resultant wave is a circular polarized whose direction is defined by the rotation of the vector. So now, as you can see in the second figure, if omega is moving in a clockwise direction, then it is called as a right hand circular polarization, and if omega is moving in the anti-clockwise direction in the third figure, then it is called as a left hand circular polarization, right? Now next topic, that is the antenna polarization. Now what does the antenna polarization means? So whenever there is a, here you can see in the satellite communication, there is a earth station, and on the above there is a satellite, right? So what happens between that is the earth station and the satellite antenna should be pointed both towards the each other, right, such that the minimum loss or pointing loss can be occurred, that is which is very minimum. So the polarization of this ground station antenna and the polarization of satellite antenna should be maintained equally. So it is defined by the polarization of the wave it transmits. That means through which the wave transmits from the earth station, it is denoted by that particular wave. The polarization of an antenna is the orientation of the electric field of radio wave with respect to earth's surface and is determined by the physical structure of antenna. So antenna itself decides that that which polarization will occur and the wave will transmit in which direction by its orientation. It has nothing in common with antenna directionality terms, that is horizontal, vertical or circular. Thus a simple straight wire antenna will have one polarization when mounted vertically and different polarization when mounted horizontally. Now, reflections generally influence polarization. For radio waves, the most significant reflector is the ionosphere. Signals which reflect from it will have their polarization change unpredictably. For signals which are reflected by the ionosphere, polarization cannot be relied upon. For line of sight communication, for which the polarization can be relied upon, it can make large differences in signal quality to have transmitter and receiver. Now, using the same polarization, the difference which is commonly seen, and this is more than enough to make the difference between reasonable communication and broken link. So the polarization is largely predictable from antenna construction, but especially in directional antennas, the polarization of side lobes can be quite different from that of main propagation lobes. For radio antennas, polarization corresponds to the orientation of the radiating element in an antenna. And a vertical omnidirectional Wi-Fi antenna will have a vertical polarization. An exception is a class for elongated waveguide antennas in which vertical placed antennas is horizontally polarized. That means the antenna are vertically placed, but it is a horizontally polarized. Many commercial area antennas are marked as a polarization of their emitted signals. And last, that is the horizontal dipole produces horizontal polarized wave, vertical produces vertical polarized. When these both are mounted at right angles, they are formed as a circular polarization. Now Next, in this figure, you can see that is linear polarization relative to receiving dipole. So as you can see, this 2 points, that is V is equal to V max, that is shown as a dipole antenna, right? At the point where V is equal to V max, the feed is given, that is the power supply is given. So electric field direction is given in the propagation of it. When V is equal to 0, then at that particular time the electric field generator will also be 0. And when V is equal to something V max cos x alpha, then it will equal to have a propagation which is having an angle alpha made between the S. So both horizontal as well vertical polarization will occur. Right? So at the receiving end, antenna should be aligned in such a way that maximum power transfer should occur. If the dipole is parallel to electric field, induced voltage V is equal to maximum. And if dipole is perpendicular to electric field, then V will be equal to 0. Right? And if dipole is lying in the plane of polarization, which is at angle alpha, then V is equal to V max cos alpha. Then, now how the antenna polarization can be achieved, right? So for this, to achieve this antenna polarization, grid of parallel wires is created to reflect the linear polarized wave when electric field is parallel to the wires. This leads to the transmission of orthogonal wave. The simplest linear polarizer is a concept is a wire grid polarization, which consists of regular array of a fine parallel metallic wires placed in a parallel plane perpendicular to the incident beam. Electromagnetic, which have a component of the electric fields aligned parallel to the wires, induce the movement of electrons along with the length of wires. And as the electrons are free to move in this direction, the polarizer acts in a similar manner to the surface of a metal when reflecting light, and the wave is reflected backwards along the incident beam. Right? And for waves with electric field perpendicular to the wires, the electrons cannot move very far across the width of wire, and therefore little energy is reflected. And the incident wave is able to pass through a wire or through a grid. And since electric field produces parallel to the wires are reflected, the transmitted wave has an electric field purely in the direction perpendicular to the wires and is thus linearly polarized. Then, as in this figure, it is discussed about the wire grid polarization, right? So what we can do is here, here that is a wire grid which is used in a perpendicular direction, that is horizontal direction. So only E2 will be passed from this grid and E1 will be rejected. So if both if we are making dual polarized antenna, what will happen if only one signal need to pass, then we need to use this grid so that only horizontal or vertical respective to the grid position, only that particular antenna will pass on. So for practical use, the separation distance between the wire must be less than the wavelength of radiation, and the wire width should be small fraction of this distance. This means that wire grid polarizer are generally only used for microwaves and for far mid-infrared light. And using advanced lithographic technique, very high pitch metallic grids can be made with the polarizer visible light. Right? So these has been shown in this figure. Right now, so that's all for today's session. Right, here we have discussed about the three types. That is, first of all, we have seen the introduction of polarization, in which we have seen the basic definitions related to polarization. Second, we have discussed about the TEM wave, that is the transverse electromagnetic wave and its properties. And third, we have discussed about the antenna polarization. Right, and now in the next session we are going to discuss another types of polarization and depolarization techniques in detail. Right, so thank you for watching.